Our producer, Lucas, got to work, and what do you know? We get to say hello to the newest San Francisco Giant. Carlos Rodón here on 95.7 The Game. Nice enough to join Damon and Ratto, and we really appreciate your time today. Carlos, let's get it straight up right from the jump, because it's been said 7 different ways. I've heard it 3 different ways in White Sox broadcasts. Rodón, how do we get it perfect when you start for the Giants?
You said it right the first time, Rodón.
Rodón, we got it, man. Thank you very, very much. I'm glad I went with that. It is good to have you on today. First of all, let me be among the first to welcome you to San Francisco. Is it a city you've ever spent much time in?
Yeah, whenever the White Sox played with Oakland, I've been to the Bay Area a few times.
Well, that's great.
We stayed at the Nico, is where we usually stayed. So I enjoyed it. It's a good place to eat. Beautiful city.
Well, tell us.
City. But I want to say thank you guys for having me, by the way.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about how it went down in the negotiations with the Giants. Can you tell us how, what pitch did they make to you, and how easy was it for you and your agent to agree to come to San Francisco?
No, it was pretty quick, actually. The Giants were fairly aggressive. I mean, they just went right to it, kind of met my needs and what I wanted, and heard a lot about the organization as far as the staff. And, I mean, the Giants won over 100 games last year, so it's hard to say no to that. A winning team, a winning organization. So it was a good fit for me.
How much?
Turn your mic on, my professional broadcaster.
How much of the negotiations happened before the lockout, and how much after the lockout did it just get finished up?
I could say right now, none. Like it was quiet for 99 days. Like there was nothing. Like I probably talked to Scott once or twice in those 99 days, because it was just kind of like a wait time from baseball.
It was a really weird area there for a little bit. I'm glad we're out of it, and I'm sure you are too. Carlos Rodón here on 95.7 The Game, signed with the Giants today. And look, you're coming off of a great year and a 7-year career with the White Sox, which saw you as one of the top picks in the draft all the way back when. And you're coming off of a year which saw you finish 5th in the Cy Young voting in the American League, your first All-Star appearance, and a 2.37 ERA after 132 2/3 innings, which included a near-perfect game if it weren't for someone wearing a size 11 shoe instead of a size 10.5, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, it was quite the year. Through the ups and downs, I mean, it was nice to finally have a year that came together. Showed that I could pitch, and good things happened. I had a very good team behind me as well, but good things happened, and I'm blessed for it. So grateful, very grateful.
In looking at the Giants, how much of your opinion was formed by the 107 wins? How much of it was formed by the record number of home runs they hit? And they obviously were much better than the year before. Do you think if you were looking at the Giants of 2 years ago, you would have been as enchanted?
Last year definitely helped their resume, but everyone knows that the Giants organization is a winning organization, as you guys know. A lot of championships in the last few years, last decade, last 20 years, right? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they've been in the mix, and they've won quite a few times. So that speaks for itself. And as far as I said, I mean, I've played with various amount of guys in my career, guys I still keep in touch with, and guys that have also played for the Giants organization, and I've only heard very, very good things about the organization. So when they came to the table and offered me a contract, it was hard to say no.
Carlos Rodón here on 95.7 The
Rodón.
Game. Rodón. Rodón. Again, we'll get it right eventually. By the time you're throwing pitches, we're gonna get it right. It is good to have you here. Obviously, like you said, it's a team that really overachieved and excelled. Buster Posey, a Hall of Fame bound catcher, is no longer in the mix though. What is it like to walk into a situation where you don't know exactly who you're necessarily going to be throwing to? The good news is you got Brandon Crawford behind you. I do know that.
Yeah, we know he can catch the ball very well. There's a lot of Gold Gloves in that field, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah, Belt's one of them, right?
Belt got a Gold Glove?
I don't know. It could be wrong.
Yeah, I would think he'd look at it this way. For the sake of this argument, yes, 9-time Gold Glove Award winner. You should feel good about throwing over to first.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's a young catching prospect, right?
Joey Bart.
Right, Joey Bart, yeah. I'm not sure who else is in the mix there. Is that Casale? Could I be wrong, or someone else?
He's still there, I think.
Yeah, Casale did a hell of a job last year backing up Posey, too.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Casale's been a very, very solid catcher for years. Some power. I mean, I don't need to go through my teammates, but I mean, either one of those guys, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. They're going to be back there. I'm sure whoever's back there, we're going to mesh well. And if it's Casale, if it's Bart, whoever it is, it's going to work out. I know it.
I was looking at your career splits, and you've never, unless I'm missing it here, you've never pitched in this ballpark.
Never been.
Never been. So, well, then you've never pitched there.
Yeah.
How much of that weighs into a decision? Or is it really simply about the team you're going to and the term and amount of the contract?
I mean, it's in the back of your head as a pitcher. The parks that the ball flies. Where home runs are hit, and Oracle Park, right? That's the name of it. Am I wrong?
Yeah, until they change it.
When I was a kid, it was AT&T. Well, not very long ago was it AT&T, but now it's Oracle Park. It's notorious for being a pitcher-friendly ballpark, as we know. It being on the water, the ball doesn't fly too well. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're
right.
You're on. Yeah, last year was an outlier for them.
Right. I mean, so yeah, it's as a pitcher, when you're in the market, it's definitely in the back of your head. So, but very pitcher-friendly ballpark. I know it's a beautiful place.
There is a power alley out there in right center that could be among the best friends you've ever had in a Major League Baseball game. So be able to pitch to that. I'll tell you where the Giants really seem to have turned a corner as an organization as they deal with not only their starting pitchers, but their bullpen as well. It seems like they've really streamlined what they ask guys to do. Kevin Gausman comes here, and he's got that massive splitter of his, and they basically said, look, you got this plus splitter, and everything else is okay. So just throw the hell out of that splitter. Do more of what you're great at. Do less of what necessarily hasn't worked. Is that a philosophy that you even talk about before you agree to come here? And if that is the philosophy they put in front of you, tell us what that will mean to you. What is the pitch that you think you hang your hat on, and what is going to be maybe something you walk away from as you just lean into your strengths and go away from weaknesses?
Yeah, I mean, analytically, I think the Giants are up there as far as being ahead of the game of most organizations within analytics. I'm coming in with an open mind to whatever's put in front of me. Whether it's hey, you need to throw this pitch more or throw this pitch more. For me, last year was like a fastball slider combination. Notoriously, I've had one of the better sliders in the game, but last year it's almost like the fastball complemented the slider, and the fastball kind of took over. So I mean, it can go either way for me. Obviously, they're going to know the information when I show up in front of them, and they're going give me that information and I'll know for sure. But as of right now, I really can't lay a finger on what pitch I would mix in more or use more.
When they're making their pitch to you, do they bring any of that up, or is this really just about contract and the baseball stuff gets discussed later when you sit down with Gabe Kapler?
I think for me, I think it was a different situation, right? It's not a normal free agency market, or the way it went down, right? Teams wanted to move quick after the lockout came off, and I think the Giants were the first ones to sign somebody, really, I would say. So their pitch was quick. It wasn't like, I would say it's abbreviated, and I'm sure they would, in a normal free agency year, they would hit on what they offer. But to be honest, like, when you're negotiating, you get down to the nitty gritty. You know, it's either this or this, whatever the dollar amount is, whatever the year's amount. It's a business part of it. That's the business part of it. Now, I guess when I signed, you could tell, or when we agreed to the contract here, you could tell it opened up a whole lot of doors as far as, you know, talking to Gabe, talking to all these people, talking to the pitching coach. And I'm sure I'll get more information on what analytics they have and all these things. As far as it being in the pitch, it wasn't in it, but you being in this game, you know what teams are much into analytics and which teams are not. Let's put it that way.
Carlos Rodón here on 95.7 The Game. So we are going to jump into an accelerated spring training. Let me ask you how much time you think you need to really start ramping up and be ready to go. It's going to be a little bit of a sprint here to opening day.
Oh, yeah, April 7th, and we got, 3 or 4 weeks now?
Yeah.
A little less than 4 weeks, because it's, March 9th, 10th?
The 11th. But
whatever today is.
It's all the same.
Hey, look at it this way. April 8th is when the Miami Marlins are going to be in town.
Okay, well, there you go.
I'm imagining you're pitching on April 9th. I'm just going to give you your starting slot right now. I'm going to guess it's going to be Webb, then you.
And tell me when to go, and I'll do it.
There you go. That's the kind of attitude I believe everybody's looking for. Now that you are a part of the San Francisco Giants, Carlos, you're going to be facing two of the best lineups in baseball. The Dodgers are a monster, and all of a sudden the San Diego Padres really matter in this game. A lot of times you're going to be facing these lineups. Is there anybody that jumps out to you that you're already thinking about?
There's a lot of good players within those two teams. NL West is no joke. It's the big boy league, that's for sure. The guy that jumps out to me is one of my former teammates is Trey Turner. Played with him for 3 years. Went to college with him. He was my roommate. So that'd be the guy that jumps out the most to me. I mean, we all know the names. You know the names of the guys on those teams.
Did you see that smooth ass slide that he had? It was in the playoffs? It was just it looked like he was on a sheet of ice. It was gorgeous.
Yeah. He's a hell of a player.
So the first time you face Turner, I presume you're just going to walk him and then laugh at him as he runs down to first.
No, because then he's going to steal second and third. He's that fast.
Well,
I don't plan on walking him. I plan on getting him out.
Okay, fine then.
That's the strategy.
Missing an opportunity, though.
This is why they went after him early. This is why this is one of the biggest free agent signings out there, Ray. Come on. I hear, is that a little Carlos or Carlotta behind you?
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself. Are you a married guy? How many kids? What's the deal?
2 kids, married, 4 going on 5 years now. We got a little boy named Bo who is 1. And we have a little girl named Willow who is just over 2.5.
Oh, well, that's fantastic.
Are either of them left-handed?
No idea yet. No clue.
See, that's the kind of parenting detail that can be the difference between working at Costco and getting a 6-year deal for $95 million.
Down the road one day. Hey, it was really nice to meet you. We wish you the very best of luck. I think that you are coming to a really good situation, and I'm looking forward to officially meeting you down at the ballpark soon enough. Thank you for joining us today. Congratulations, to you and your family. You took a smaller deal and took a big gamble on yourself. You took a show it to us deal from the White Sox, and it really turned into something special for you. So congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Carlos Rodón here on 95.7 The Game. That was fantastic.